Hello everyone out there in YouTube land, welcome back to Diego Knows. I am Diego, of course, and today we're going to continue to talk about High Fidelity. That's right, High Fidelity, that wonderful movie from 2000, okay, that I love so much, okay? It's one of the best chick flick movies out there for men. That's right, a chick flick for guys, okay? They don't make very many of them. That's why this one's very special and very close to me as well, okay? Now, I'm Diego. What I do here is I like to review chick flicks and chick shows and shit like that. I've reviewed every single episode of Sex and the City. All those videos are on here. I also reviewed lots of fucking movies, chick flick movies. I reviewed The Notebook, League of Their Own, what the fuck, Pretty Woman, okay, Thelma and Louise, okay, so now I decided what I want to do, I wanted to take a little break from that and give you a review of what I consider a chick flick for guys. Okay, so basically it has all the same things that a chick flick has, okay? It's got the, semi-professional, middle-aged, semi-attractive, attractive but not super attractive protagonist with the horny best friend or maybe the gay friend or whatever, usually that's what it is. The perfect fucking love interest guy, who has no fucking personality. Okay, all that kind of shit. Well, they reversed it this time, okay? Now, this has been done before, but usually when it happens, the guys, when they're the main characters in a rom-com, they always act like fucking bitches. They always act like fucking bitches, okay? And that's not attractive to us. We don't want to fucking see that. There's already enough of that on TV, on regular shows. We don't need to see that in our fucking movies as well, okay? This movie is different from that. Whereas the protagonist, it is a rom-com, you could say. It is about romance. It's about a lot of things, but mostly it's about relationships. It's about romance, about girlfriends, boyfriends, loving each other, hurting each other. All that kind of stuff is in there, okay? But it's from a guy's point of view, and it plays by guys' rules, and that's the difference, okay? The men in this movie actually act like real men. Okay, that's the fucking difference. That's something I can relate to. That's something I can talk about. Okay, so that's what makes this movie so special. There's only a few movies I know about that do that, and this is one of them. Okay, so ladies, if you're interested in the way a man thinks, how he feels about relationships, how he feels about women, how he feels about what his place in the relationship is, and what he feels your place in the relationship is, this is the movie, okay? If you're wondering what a guy is thinking, okay, what he's afraid of or what he wants, this is that. This is gonna answer all those questions for you. I'm surprised so many women didn't watch this movie. I know a lot of guys watch it. It's one of those indie films that came out in 2000. It was made by Touchstone Pictures. It was a department of Disney that doesn't exist anymore. This was around the era of the independent filmmaker being a big name, like Quentin Tarantino's, the Kevin Smith's, they were being made by Miramax Pictures, and Touchstone started to jump in that whole craze. It's a smaller demographic audience of viewership, but the movies were so special it would never go mainstream. This movie obviously did not go mainstream. It's an independent movie. It feels like an independent movie, and that's why I love it so much, okay? Also, this movie takes place in my neighborhood in Chicago, okay? Which I also thought was kind of cool. Not only do I relate to the main character very, very much, his friends in the movie, I have friends like that in real life, okay? The way he feels about music is the way I feel about comic books. Okay, about comic book superheroes, about action movies, okay? I'm a wealth of useless knowledge, all right? And so is he, okay? And that's what I love about this character. That's what I love about these guys, all right? They're obviously out there in the dating world, trying to get laid, trying to meet girls, trying to fall in love, trying to get relationships. It doesn't work out. They get confused, they get hurt, they get upset. How do they act? You'll notice that the way men act when their heart is broken is a lot different than the way women act in these movies, okay? It's a lot different, okay? So I point that out here, okay? This is like a guy's point of view. This is the way a man deals with heartbreak. This is the way a man deals with rejection. This is the way a man deals with romance, all right? And that's what makes this movie so special. Okay. Now, where I left off last time, Rob Gordon was talking to us. This movie is in the first person, okay? So he talks to us. It's very meta in that sense, okay? And he tells us basically that his girlfriend, we see his girlfriend dump him, and he tells us a little bit about it. He loses his cool. He's very upset, so he hides it with anger, but when he's not angry, he's depressed. Okay, he's depressed, he's melancholy, he's very sad, he's very down, out, and bummer, and honestly, I think he just likes to be that way. I don't think it's necessarily because of this, because when we see flashbacks of him, he's like that too, okay? Before he even met this girl, he was still that way, okay? So he's just a depressive guy, low self-esteem, wears his heart on his sleeve, it takes a lot for him to generate any sort of confidence, okay? This isn't a guy that walks around all cocky, acting like he's all that, okay? No, that's his friend, that's Barry, that's Jack Black's character. He's the one that acts like that, okay, not him, okay? But because of this, because he has such low self-esteem, he tends to let the women in his life, his relationships, tends to let them be in charge. And I know what that's like too. too. I'm ashamed to admit it, okay? But I had my beta male phase as well, okay? And he's still in his, okay? He's still like, to him, relationships are everything. If he doesn't fucking, if he doesn't meet the right girl, if the girl doesn't love him unconditionally, if she keeps, all these girls he dates keep breaking his heart, it makes him feel there's something wrong with him. And he can't handle it. He can only handle so much heartbreak, before he fucking just gives up on life. Well, that's, he sounds like a typical guy that was raised by a single mom, okay? But he's not. He actually has two parents. Go figure. Okay, but anyway, but that's how he acts, okay? So there's a lot of guys out there, especially today in 2022, that can relate to that, unfortunately. I could definitely relate to that in 2000. I think I saw this movie in 2003, okay? I didn't see it when it came out, still in the Marines, still active duty in the Marines and stuff. I think I saw it in 2003 or 2004, but I completely related to it. And like I said, it was in my neighborhood. It was filmed in my neighborhood. I know those apartments. I know those bars that he goes to. I know all those places, okay? I know where that record store is. The real one is, okay? It's not actually where it shows up in the movie. It's actually a little bit further down the street, a little bit closer to Milwaukee. Milwaukee and Damon, okay, but it is on Milwaukee, okay, 1511 North Milwaukee. That's actually a bar called Nick's Beer Garden where I got shit-faced at many times. But I digress. Anyway, so in the last video I did, we dealt with Charlie. Now Charlie was number 3 on his list of top 5 worst breakups that he's ever had. The first one was Allison Ashmore. It's a girl he met when he was like 13 or 14 who fucking kissed another boy on their 4th date. Okay, so that broke his heart. Okay, the second one was Penny Hardwick. Penny Hardwick's a girl he met in high school. She would not fuck him. He tried really hard to fuck her, but she would always reject his advances. As far as that goes, she was only comfortable with kissing, so he dumped her. And then he hears from this other asshole at school that the other guy fucked her like after 3 dates. He's like, ah, and that fucking hurt his feelings. Okay, and now we're at the third one was Charlie. Now Charlie's played by Catherine Zeta-Jones, extremely beautiful woman. She's a very extroverted girl, very sexy, today we would call her a hipster. She wears the hat outdoors, she's got the bright clothes, she's very self-confident. She loves to talk a lot. She's the life of the party. She's very flirtatious. Like I said, very extroverted, okay? She's the one that goes out there and talks to everybody at the party, okay? So if you're with her, you're going to meet people, okay? Because she'll make sure that you meet people, okay? That's the kind of girl she is, okay? Very extroverted, very friendly, very talkative, okay? She likes to dominate the conversation. She likes to be the leader. If there's a group of girls around, she is the leader, okay? And so he's never been with a girl like that, a girl with so much self-confidence like her, so who's so popular and so witty, and just so alpha. He's never been with a woman like that, so he's just like, oh my God, he's overwhelmed by her, okay? He's surprised that she would want to go out with him, number one, okay? And also, he feels inadequate. He feels like he's not like man enough for her, okay? So they're together for 2 years, and he's afraid that, she's gonna find a better guy and dump him, okay? And guess what happens? She finds a better guy and dumps him, okay? He cannot handle that, okay? All his insecurities, all his fears about himself that he had in regards to her, I'm not good enough, I'm sexually inadequate for her, all these things that he was thinking about are now confirmed because she cheated on him. Not only she cheated on him, she dumped him too, okay? So like now he can't even be with her anymore, okay? He goes out there, very melodramatic, he was probably drunk, okay? He goes out there in the rain, screaming at her, even though she's in her apartment on the 3rd floor, right next to the Blue Line on North Avenue in Damon. And he's screaming at her in a thunderstorm, and he sees her up there with the other guy, the guy that she fucking cheated on him with and dumped him for. So now he's just had a fucking breakdown, okay? I know what that's like. Ladies, you know what it's like to have your heart broken. You know how bad that feels? Well, imagine that 10 times worse. That's how it feels for us, okay? But unlike you can't really go to your girl, you can go to your girlfriends and cry about it. You can call your mom and cry about it. You can tell your girlfriends will pick you up. They'll take you out, okay, let's go get you laid. That kind of thing. Your girlfriends will do all that shit for you, okay? And you'll probably be fucking a guy later that afternoon. Okay, you're still not over the guy that dumped you, but at least you're feeling a little bit better. Your self-esteem's starting to get on the rise again because guys are still attracted to you and guys are more than willing to fuck you. Okay, you're gonna start fucking guys that you never would fuck initially. Okay, because you just want that self-esteem hit. You're probably gonna fuck your boyfriend's friend or something. Okay, or his enemy to make it even worse. Okay, just so you can feel like you got him back. Okay, because he broke your heart and he deserves it. All that kind of shit. You girls do that shit immediately. Okay, guys not so much. Okay, if we're in love with a woman, more than likely, in love with her, okay? This guy's not just in love with her, he's like obsessed with her, okay? He can't do anything without her, okay? Unfortunately, he's that way with all of his girlfriends, but he can't do anything without her, okay? So the possibility of him cheating on her with another girl, that would never happen to him. He would never consider that, and the reason he would not cheat on her is because he knows, or he feels, not knows, because it's not a fact, okay? But he feels that he cannot do better than her. Okay, she's a 10. He cannot do better than a 10. Okay, he's just dating fucking 5, 6s, and 7s. Okay, maybe an 8 every once in a while. This girl's a 10. Okay, there's no point in him cheating on her with a fucking 9 because he's never gonna get another 10. Okay, so the idea of him straying from her is not going to happen. Okay, instead he's more concerned about making her happy and keeping her. Okay, but because there's so much pressure on him to make her happy and to keep her, he's a simp. He's a beta. He carries her groceries for her. He does all these fucking things for her. Okay, he basically licks her asshole. Whatever she wants, he'll do it for her because he loves her so much. That's because he's afraid of losing her, because he thinks he cannot get another girl like her. Okay, and because carries that insecurity, because throughout the entire 2-year relationship he has with her, okay, no wonder she fucking cheats on him. No wonder she dumps him. Okay, no woman wants to be with a guy like that. Okay, unless it's a beta male provider. Now, a beta male provider is like, this is a girl who fucks a lot of hot guys, a lot of popular guys with money, guys with social status, but she never manages to fucking, to get a relationship out of them, so now she's stuck with a fucking kid. Well, who's gonna fucking take her seriously now that she got a fucking kid? Well, she'll find some fucking nerdy simp beta male, oh, I love you so much, you're everything that I want, and she'll fucking marry his ass because he's gonna pay all the fucking bills. Okay, well, that's basically what Rob Gordon is, the main character. Okay, he's basically a simp for this girl, Charlie. And no girl, you cannot, I will quote Ferris Bueller here, okay? You cannot respect someone who kisses your ass. You cannot respect someone who kisses your ass, okay? And that's what Rob Gordon did with Charlie, his girlfriend. He kissed her ass all the fucking time. No wonder she cheated on him. No fucking wonder. This guy's got no balls because he had no self-confidence. He honestly felt he couldn't have done better. He probably quit talking to other girls. He only hung out with his friends, and he never hung out with his friends if she didn't approve of it, that kind of thing. So no wonder she fucking dumped his ass, okay? I've been there as well. I know what it's like, and it fucking sucks. I'm thinking of a girl right now that broke my heart completely. Oh my God, it took me a good fucking maybe 2 years to get over her. And even though, like, immediately after she dumped me, right there on the corner of fucking, on State Street and Wacker Drive, right there on the river, I remember that talk we had that night. Oh my God. And she just, she had given me this ring like a week earlier. Oh, bracelet. It was a bracelet she gave me to show me that she loved me so much. And then she gives me the fucking Dear John breakup speech right there on the river. And I was just like, oh my God, I couldn't believe how bad that hurt. I saw myself marrying her. I saw myself with kids. I saw everything. I worked downtown. She worked literally across the street from me. Okay, she worked in the hotel. Okay, and that's you've seen that hotel before. If you ever watched Transformers, the one was it Part 2 or Part 3? The one where they're in Chicago. I think it was Part 2. I'm not really sure. Yeah, it was Part 2. It was it's Part 3. Not Revenge of the Fallen. It was Dark Side of the Moon. That one. That was Part 3, okay? Her job, the hotel she worked at, gets completely destroyed in that movie, okay? And also, if you've seen Batman, The Dark Knight movie, the one with Christian Bale, okay, his penthouse that he lives in the one with the Joker, was it The Dark Knight? Just The Dark Knight. Okay, the penthouse that Bruce Wayne lives in, because remember, he doesn't live in the mansion in that one, okay? That penthouse, that's the building. Okay, she worked in there, and then I worked across the street. Okay, and my restaurant got destroyed in Transformers also. But yeah, so she worked across the street, so I saw her all the time. We were in the same industry and stuff. And I really connected with her so well that I honestly thought that I'd met the one. This is the girl I've been waiting for my whole fucking life. I honestly felt that in my heart. So for her to fucking dump me the way she did, it broke something in me. It broke something, and I couldn't get over it for a very long time. Even though I immediately started dating other girls. I started dating another girl like in less than a week. Okay, I started dating a bartender from my neighborhood, okay? And next thing you know, she was my girlfriend, like within fucking 4 weeks, she was my new girlfriend, okay? And even though I had a steady sex partner, and she was actually about a little bit, she was as good looking as my ex-girlfriend, but with bigger titties. Anyway, yeah, that's not important. That's not important. The point is that here I already had another relationship. I was already with another girl. Okay, I was already having sex on a regular basis. So as far as my self-esteem goes, my ego, it shouldn't have been hurt. Okay, because I rebounded right away. Okay, but that sense of so much I was looking forward to so much. Okay, not so much of a sense of entitlement, but a sense of looking for something. Okay, of this is what I wanted. It's something that I wished for, and now I had it, and that got taken away from me. And I didn't understand what I did wrong. I didn't cheat on her. I didn't hit her. I didn't call her names. I didn't do any of that stuff. Okay, but yet I still got dumped. Okay, but yet I've never hit a woman in my life, but I've disrespected some girlfriends that I've had before. Yeah, absolutely, and they never wanted to leave. They wanted to stay with me. Go fucking figure. How the fuck does that work? But anyway, yeah, guys out there, man, get rid of that fucking single mom shit that they told you. I know they meant well. Okay, but if you want to know how to fucking keep girls around, if you want to know how to fucking make a girl happy, look how guys do it. Don't listen to fucking women. They ain't gonna tell you the fucking truth. They don't even fucking know. They just know what they like. They can't explain why. Okay, look at how the guys do it and model them. Okay, very fucking. So don't watch chick flicks to figure out women. Don't. That's what I tried, and this shit don't fucking work. All right, and we don't watch Oprah, okay, or Ellen to figure out how to make a girl happy. Fuck that noise, man. That shit does not fucking work. All right. Anyway. So because of his simp behavior, this girl dumped him and he can't handle it. He can't process it, and I know what that's like, okay? I went through a fucking depression for a good fucking 2 years, despite the fact that I already had a girlfriend. Despite the fact that I was fucking other girls. I thought that once I started fucking other girls, especially girls that were hotter than my ex, I would feel better. Well, I felt better for a day or two, and then I was back to, oh shit. You know why? Because the expectation, that's the word I was looking for, the expectations that I had with my ex-girlfriend were so much more important to me, and I knew that these girls that I was sleeping with, the expectation I had with them was very limited, okay? I would date girls that were fucking hot, but I knew damn well they're fucking stupid, or they don't like the same shit that I like, so I know this ain't gonna go anywhere, okay? It's just enjoy the sex while you can, you know? Or hey, this girl's got a boyfriend, so I know she ain't gonna fucking leave him for me. He's the one paying all her bills, okay? She ain't gonna leave him for me, so what the fuck? Let's just have the sex and get it over, you know? Friendly, but I know nothing's gonna come of this. Nothing's gonna come of this in the long term, okay? Because the girl that I did want something to come of this for long term fucking broke my heart. Okay, so not only was I not looking for that anymore, well, actually, the truth is I did want that. I did want that, find that again, but I was too afraid to go through the pain that I was already going through. Okay, I was too fucking afraid to feel that again. Okay, I couldn't fucking live like that. I couldn't, that heartache, that sense of anxiety. I was having anxiety attacks like almost every 2 hours. I couldn't fucking sleep. Okay, everyone at work knew how depressed I was when they found out, because they all knew her too, you know, and so they knew that something inside me had broken. Here I was, this guy that was always talking, you know, I was being lively, you know, I was making jokes, I was making pop culture references, I was talking about TV shows and shit, you know, and then all of a sudden I turned into this fucking, this depressed, melancholy guy like Rob Gordon is in this movie. I turned into that, and that wasn't who I am. Okay, and it sucks that happened to me, that I let a woman do that to me. Okay, because it's not her fault, it's my fault. She has the right to dump me, absolutely. Okay, she didn't do anything wrong. If she wanted to fucking dump me, she could have done that, and she did. She has the right to do that. I'm not taking that away from her. I'm saying what she did was wrong for whatever the reason was. I never did find out why, but whatever that reason was, it was an important enough reason for her. Okay, so that's all I meant. Hey, it's free will. Okay, no one's forcing you to be with me, just like nobody can force me to be with you. Okay, so it's not that. It's just the pain that I felt because my expectations were so high with her. Okay, and I think maybe I projected so much of what I wanted that I turned her into a fucking princess when she wasn't. She wasn't. She was just an ordinary girl with a lot of fuck up hang-ups just like me. Okay, but I didn't look at her that way. I looked at her as something above me, and I never should have done that. And I did learn my lesson. Okay, I did learn my lesson. I'm not saying I didn't get my heart broken again, because I did, okay, but I recovered a lot fucking faster. It didn't take fucking 2 years. All right, anyway, so he's all upset about it. And then he talks to us, the audience. He says, like, hey, you know, I thought that, you know, I knew things about women. I read books about women. I read Love in the Time of Cholera. Those are about girls, right? You know, joke. And then he says, like, you know, I have to tell you my all-time favorite book is the Cash, the autobiography, Cash by Johnny Cash. That's his favorite autobiography. I don't know why the fuck he put that in there. I have no idea, but I guess it's important to him. Okay, so moving right along, while Rob's talking to us in his office at work, in the store that he owns, okay, he gets a phone call, and it's Laura. Laura's the ex-girlfriend, the one that dumped him in the beginning of this movie, okay? She calls, and he's excited but afraid also to hear her voice on the phone, because he didn't think he'd ever hear from her again. He begged her to stay, and she just blew him off and left anyway. She tells him that she needs to come by the apartment to get some of her stuff. You know, she said, your apartment, she said. He's like, my apartment? Because in his mind, it was their apartment. Okay, she was living with him after all. Okay, but she needs to go by there to get some of her stuff. Okay, and she wants to make sure that he's at work when she does it, because she doesn't want to see him again. Okay, well, he gets upset about that, and she realizes that he's upset. He's, oh, you're calling it my apartment now? When did it become my apartment? You know, and then she just hangs up on him. Okay. So meanwhile, she hangs up on him. So he slams the phone. He looks out the window of his office there, and he sees Barry. Barry, that's Jack Black's character, sitting behind the counter of the cash register. And there's an old man in there, okay? A middle-aged square guy, okay? He's there in a trench coat. He's got the gray hair and stuff. And he asks Barry, hey, do you have that song, I Just Called to Say I Love You by Stevie Wonder? And Barry's like, yes, I do. He's like, well, can I have it? Can I buy it? He's like, no, you can't. Well, why not? He's like, well, why not? Because it's sentimental, tacky crap. That's why not. Do we look like a store that sells I just call to say I love you? Go to the mall. That's Jack Black. That is Jack Black's character, okay? And he's like, what's your problem? He's like, do you even know your daughter? There's no way in hell she likes that song. Oh, is she in a coma? He's like, well, sorry, man. I didn't know it was pick on the middle-aged square guy day. You know, he starts walking away, and you're thinking, bye-bye. He's like, fuck you! He's like, and Rob watched the whole thing happen. Now, Rob owns the store, and Barry, the register guy, is his employee. So he just watched his own employee fucking disrespect the customer. Tell him to get the fuck out of this. I'm not going to sell you a record. Right. Well, Rob's a nicer boss than I am, okay? He actually goes up to him and goes like, very classy there, Barry. Great job. and Barry's like, Rob, top 5 musical crimes committed by Stevie Wonder in the 70s and 80s. Sub-question, is it unfair to criticize formerly a great artist for his latter-day sins? Is it better to burn up or to fade away? Okay, well, you know, when I say it looks stupid. When Jack Black says it, it's hilarious, okay? And, you know, and by the way, he stole that line, it's better to burn up than fade away. He stole that line from Highlander. Okay, that was in the Highlander movie, the original one from the 80s. Okay, and Rob's like, we are fucking broke, Barry! And he jumps behind the counter. Okay? And Barry's like, says you're gonna yell at me over a record that we don't have, and he was never gonna come back anyway. And Rob's like, that's not the point! What did he ever do to you? He offended me with his horrible taste in music. He's like, it wasn't his horrible taste in music, it was his daughter's horrible taste in music. And Barry's like, I cannot believe you are defending that ass muncher. Come on, Rob, you're getting soft in your old age. Jesus. Now I'm offending your golf buddy or something. You know? I was gonna tell you something, pal. Something I gotta tell you here, okay? That is the worst fucking sweater I've ever seen in my whole fucking life. It's a Cosby sweater! A Cosby sweater! You know, and the last video I already told you about the Cosby sweaters. The Cosby sweaters are those bright fucking sweaters that Bill Cosby wore on that 80s sitcom, The Cosby Show, okay? I didn't watch too many episodes myself, but I remember when it first came out, okay? He was very famous for wearing a stupid ass fucking sweater every fucking episode. People were waiting to see what dumbass fucking sweater he was gonna wear in that episode, okay? And for some reason, he always thought of himself as a funny guy, okay? This is before we knew that Bill Cosby was a fucking rapist. This is before we knew that, okay? But he would just be like, wear these stupid ass sweaters and act all stupid on the show. He would do this stupid ass dance for his wife, you know, like that. And apparently he thought that would turn her on, and because he was the owner of the fucking TV show, it did. I mean, it was just stupid shit like that. But he wore this dumbass fucking sweater and made a bunch of fucking dad jokes. And like, yeah, I couldn't stand him either, even back then. The best stuff he did was earlier, like when he had the Bill Cosby show back in the 70s and stuff. That was the best stuff he ever did. And I never watched I Spy. But yeah, this is way before he went to prison for that. He's out now, by the way. They let him out. But anyway. So yeah, he would always wear these stupid ass Cosby sweaters. So it became a thing. If you wore a really ugly sweater, we called it a Cosby sweater. And Rob Gordon's sweater is like dark blue with these stripes across it. It looks fucking terrible. It looks like shit. I mentioned it as soon as I saw it in the scene where he first takes off his jacket and you see his sweater. Okay, and that is so fucking true. But now that would have been bad enough. Okay, that already. Remember, Rob is still depressed and angry because his girlfriend dumped him. Okay, and his girlfriend just called. He just heard her voice a minute ago. He's not in a good place right now. He's angry. His friends don't know what happened. He's upset. He's depressed. He's melancholy. And here's this fucking employee disrespecting his customers, okay, playing his fucking happy music out loud, which he does not want to fucking hear. He wants to stay in his depression. He doesn't want to get out of it, okay? I can argue that he's been that way his whole life, not just because his girlfriend dumped him yesterday, okay? And here's his employee, Barry, screaming at him about his poor choice in clothes, okay? And then he says something that's fucking suicide. He says, oh, did Laura let you leave out of the house that way? That right there, that's it, okay? And I know what that's like too, okay? Rob just turns around, grabs Barry and slams him against the record shelf there. it's like slams him, you know, like yeah, like I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of you now. I'm done with you. Okay, and now, like I said before, Jack Black's character, Barry, he talks a big game. He's always raising his voice. He's always yelling. He's always being sarcastic. He's always acting like a fool. He's always telling people off. He loves to pick on Dick. That's this beta male that works there as well, this bald-headed, skinny little beta male that works there as well. He loves to pick on him because he knows that guy won't fucking stand up for himself. He loves to talk shit all the fucking time. He's always doing that. He's always acting like a cultural elitist, like an alpha male. But the bottom line is, once you put your hands on him, he's a fucking pussy. He's a fucking pussy. He cannot back up anything that he fucking says. He's scared. He's a short, fat guy. It's Jack Black, okay? He's a short, fat guy, you know, with a kind of a feminine, gayish voice, you know? And once Rob grabs him and slams him against the records, he's like, there's a problem, you're a maniac, you're a maniac. You know, you could tell the fear on his face, like, holy shit, you know? Like, he's gonna get his ass kicked. And Rob is like I would in the same situation. I've done this before. I have. I'm not proud of it, but I've done this before. He's like, "Are you done now? Are you done?" He's like, "This jacket is vintage, and if you tore it, I swear to God, I will fucking suck your nose." You know, so yeah, so he comes out. Now Dick, the beta male I just mentioned, he saw everything. He saw everything go down. Okay. And they walk away from each other. Like, they just split apart and walk away. They divide, okay? Now, Rob's, okay, depressed in his office. What else is new? Just sitting there, you know, smoking a cigarette. Because he smokes like fucking 100 times in this movie. More than 100 times, honestly. Just sitting there, depressed, like he has been the entire fucking movie. And then Dick walks in there. Dick, skinny little, you know, soft-spoken beta male, goes like, "Hey, is everything all right, Rob?" He's like, Rob tells him, he tells him that Laura broke up with him last night, okay? And he says, "Hey, listen, now Laura broke up with me, and if you see Barry again, when you see Barry again, can you just tell him that for me, please?" He's like, oh, no problem. No problem at all, Rob. I'll tell him. I'll tell him the next time I see him, I can do that, yes. Yeah, I'll do that, sure. Because there's some other stuff that I need to tell him also. So I'll just tell him your stuff at the same time that I tell him my stuff. It's no problem. It's no problem. I'll just tell him about Laura when, you know, I tell him about the other stuff that I want to tell him. Do you want to talk about it? He's like, no, Dick. But thank you. Okay, yeah, that's the kind of guy that Dick is, all right? Beta male out the ass, all right? At least he doesn't hide it like Barry does, all right? Okay, yeah, okay, so anyway, later on, Rob's back at his apartment, his Chicago apartment. It looks kind of similar to my apartment. It's a little bit bigger than mine, okay? And he smells Laura's underwear. For some reason, she had her fucking, a pile of her fucking lingerie sitting there. He just grabs it. Now that is something I've never really done. No, I've never done that before. Okay, because he can smell her pussy. He misses her that much that he wants to smell her fucking pussy. Okay, then he talks to us again. He talks to the camera. Okay, he tells us, you know what? There was a time where I would have loved just to be around, you know, lingerie like this and smell it all the time. Okay, but now I realize that girls, they just save their best stuff for when they're gonna fuck somebody else. You know, he throws the fucking lingerie across the room. Okay. And then he listens to the fucking sad bastard music. Well, what else is new? That's what he does all the time. Okay. And he checks his messages on his answering machine. Yes, we used to have an answering machine back in the day. Okay, there were no fucking cell phones back. Well, there was cell phones back then, but they weren't as mainstream as they are today. Okay, and they sure as fuck didn't have the benefits that we have today. Remember, we still had dial-up internet back then. Okay, this movie takes place in 2000, but it was filmed in 1999. Okay, so we had dial-up internet back then. Okay, so he listens to his voicemails, and the first one that's on there is a voice message from Laura's mom. Apparently Laura's mom did not realize that she had dumped her boyfriend, doesn't live there anymore, that she moved out. So the message that Laura's mom says, she has like a Danish accent because the actress that plays Laura, I cannot pronounce her name, so I'm not gonna try, but the actress that portrays Laura in this movie, she is from, she's from Copenhagen, okay, so she's Danish. Okay, so English is not her natural language, despite the fact that she does a great fucking American accent. But her mom has the accent, okay? And she basically tells Laura, hey, listen, your dad had another attack of angina, but it's okay, he's doing fine, nothing to worry about, but could you please come over and see us, that kind of thing, all right? Remember that, because that's going to come back later on in the movie. All right. So he goes through, Rob goes through his record collection. His entire wall is shelved with all sorts of records. He keeps them all in plastic bags, the exact same way that I keep my comic books, in plastic bags, upright, okay? So he collects his records the way I collect my comic books. All right. And I still have my comic books. Yeah. So yeah, he's got them there in plastic bags. Okay. And Rob says, Charlie and I, we didn't match. Charlie and I didn't match. Marco and Charlie, they matched. And what he means by that is Charlie was a beautiful, super good looking, super confident woman, and Marco was a super good looking, super confident man. So of course, they're better off together than him and her were. Okay. He's like, we didn't match. Okay. Me and Sarah Kendrew, that's who is number 4 on my list, by the way. We matched. Okay. Now we see her, Sarah Kendrew, okay, it's played by this actress named Lily Taylor. You might have seen her in some other stuff. She was also in another movie with John Cusack. I guess she's good friends with John Cusack, and she's from Chicago. She was in one of the Conjuring movies. She was the mom of the family where the Warrens had to go in there and get the ghosts out of their house. Ron Livingston played the dad in that one. She was also in Say Anything. That's the with John Cusack, okay? That's the one where he's holding up the boombox, playing Your Eyes, okay? She played his friend in that one, the one who wrote like 100 songs about her ex-boyfriend. Okay, that's Lily Taylor. You've seen her before, okay? Well, she plays a girl named Sarah Kendrew in this. Now, Sarah Kendrew is the type of girl that fucking, she just got dumped. She has very low self-esteem, okay? She doesn't dress pretty. She's not that great looking. She's average looking, Yeah, I'd say she's average looking, okay? She's not super pretty. She's not super ugly. She's kind of in the middle there. She has very low self-esteem. Right now she's angry at the world and men in general because her boyfriend dumped her, okay? Her boyfriend I guess his name was Michael. Michael dumped her, so she's not over it, okay? And at the exact same time, Rob Gordon, okay, he's dressed like fucking Kurt Cobain. He's got the leather jacket. He's wearing the plaid shirt around his waist, like he's going to a fucking Nirvana concert. The fucking, the bandana around his head like we used to wear in 1990, 1991, like we used to wear back then, And he's walking with her along not Michigan Avenue, but Lake Michigan, okay, in the north side, okay, because you can see the lake behind them. That's Chicago, okay, and they're walking together, and she's screaming about, well, she's not screaming, but she's complaining about Michael that dumped her. Michael was such an asshole. He was such an asshole, And Rob explains that he was still hurt about Charlie dumping him. He still hadn't recovered from that, okay. So Sarah and Rob, okay, like I said, in their 90s clothes, okay, walking along, they're both discussing their heartbreaks, okay, and Sarah's like, I'm just gonna be by myself right now. I'm just gonna be by myself, and Robert's like, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I think I'm gonna be by myself too. And then they look at each other and just start fucking making out. Rebound, okay, this is called the Rebound. Now, this is his number 4 in his list of top 5 worst breakups. This is the Rebound girl. Yes, the girl that I mentioned earlier, okay, the girl I dated like immediately after my girlfriend dumped me, she was the rebound girl. She was a rebound girl, okay? She hadn't been dumped recently or anything like that, but I got with her really fast. Okay, don't get me wrong, I was attracted to her and the sex was great. Like I said, she had some big ass titties. She looked like Barbara Eden, but with bigger boobs. Okay, she was a bartender at my local bar in my neighborhood, so that's how I met her. But I got with her really quickly, okay, because it's better to fucking, deal with your fucking heartbreak while you're fucking someone else, okay, than it is to deal with your heartbreak and just jerk off in your hand every day. Which one of the two you think you're going to do? Yeah, exactly. Okay, exactly. Okay, and that's what he's doing here. He knows this isn't going to go anywhere. He's scared of dying old and alone, and so is she. He says only people of very certain disposition are afraid of dying, okay, old and alone at 26. Her and I were of that disposition, okay? So they're sitting there in bed. They really have nothing in common, but hey, better to be miserable together, better to be lonely, okay, to be alone and not date anyone together than to do it, than take a chance of getting your heart broken again. So that's what they do. It's mostly just a relationship of convenience, okay? There's no love there, okay? But eventually, she decides to call it off. She meets him in the breakfast table and tells him that she met somebody else. He's shocked and disgusted how this could happen. Like, I thought the whole point of you and me was we're not gonna do that to each other because that's what was done to us. She's like, well, I just met somebody else. And she kicks him out of her apartment, okay? So he's got to grab his shit, and she slams the door on him. He's like, fuck, fuck, fuck. So he got dumped again. That's the hardest breakup, number 4 for him. And then he looks at the camera and he's like, so why did I get dumped? Okay, yeah, it sucks. Okay, so I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back shortly to continue my review of High Fidelity from 2000. I thank you for watching this long, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.